Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We have a very active sun right now that I think is about to have a big solar flare. This coming from sunspot group 4409. You see a big solar flare right there. That was an M-class flare. I think we're about to get something bigger from this sunspot group, which has just recently grown quite a bit on the sun. It's quite dense and compact and twisted and clustered up, and that is a pretty good sign that we have a significant solar flare and maybe even a coronal mass ejection coming our way. Because this has all happened just in the past 36 hours. And we have 4 astronauts right now headed to the moon. So they are now inbound to the moon. They'll reach there in about 3 days, meaning that they've left the main protective confines of Earth's magnetic field. They are still in what's known as the magnetotail. The solar wind pushes Earth's magnetic field, compresses it at the front, elongates out the back. But it's not as strong of a protective shield or force field, you could say, as it is closer into the planet. So they are experiencing right now a lot more solar radiation than normal. We can see that here with our proton flux. We did not reach a radiation storm, but we see that our greater than 10 mega electron volt protons here, with this red line, has increased about 25 times over baseline, because this is an order of magnitude scale right there. So every one is a 10x increase. So normal is about 0.2 for our flux values. And then we see that we went up to about 5, and right now it's clicking in at 4. So if you get to 10, that's when you enter into an S1 radiation storm. So they are already receiving a lot more proton radiation from the sun as a result of some pretty gnarly solar filament launches that we had. We can look at that here with our 304 angstrom view of the sun. Check this out. We had first this big filament launch from there. That's not Earth directed. This one was. Check that out. Whoosh! That's a big plasma filament launch, and it had a pretty nice shock wave to it. There was a full halo that launched from that, though most of the plasma density is going to be traveling ahead of Earth's orbit. We can look at our halo CME model for that. We'll see it again right up there. So that is coming in, expected to hit in about 12 hours. So here's the full synopsis basically, is that A, the astronauts have already been flying in space during a G1 to G2 geomagnetic storm. So you've already been hit by a solar storm. They launch under those conditions. They've been experiencing that. They've also been experiencing heightened radiation from the space environment as a result of this event here. Though we did not reach an S1 proton storm, we got close. So they've been receiving more of this solar energy already. Thankfully, the even higher energy protons, like greater than 100, greater than 500 mega electron volts, have not gone up, because that would be a very serious risk. Now we have this new sunspot rotating directly into view. Here it is, 4409. It's probably about to do a big solar flare, very likely a coronal mass ejection directly to us because it's in the strike zone. We see the growth of that there, again, very compact and densely clustered. And then we also have a sungrazer comet right now, soon to perform its perihelion around the sun, probably will disintegrate, maybe even impact the sun. That's all happening in the next 34 hours. Let me show you this right here. This is C2026 A1 maps showing up now on our chronograph. We see how it is brightening quite rapidly. It's about 400 meters across. That's the estimate. So this is not the biggest comet that we've ever seen. It is pretty underwhelming compared to the initial estimates that we were basically forecasting for this comet when we first detected it a month ago or so. But it is still there right now in our inner solar system, flying closer and closer to the sun, accelerating rapidly as we have 4 astronauts in space. And we see this connection sometimes between solar activity and comets, especially when they get close or they form specific alignments. So this guy is going to continue to accelerate and brighten as it gets close to the sun. Its perihelion only 0.005 astronomical units away from sun. That's basically the Earth-Moon separation distance. And then it'll swing around. It should survive. It'll be very bright and it'll go off basically like this. It's actually going to swing around like that and then go off down this direction. So there's a ton of dynamic factors currently at play right now with our sun and with our Earth's magnetic field, energy, plasma environment, and these astronauts right now are traveling through all of that. We looked at our 131 angstrom imagery and we saw how sunspot group 4409 was becoming more active. We also saw that flare from 4406. Well, here we see that recent activity from 4405. So we've already had some M-class flares, but they've been 2 low M-class flares. But I think, again, that's going to spike up. We have seen just the past couple hours here a little bit of a cool off, but in general the trend is increasing as it relates to solar flare activity because of all these sunspots that we have on the Earth facing side of the sun right now. Here we see our solar wind. Actually, we just had a new impact. That impact that we've been tracking has just come in as I record this. I did not see this. Here is the geomagnetic storm that we've been in. G1, even reaching G2 levels right there, specifically G2 minus. So a G1 storm is a minor storm, and G2 is a moderate storm. G3 is strong, G4 is severe, G5 is extreme. We would not want astronauts in space during a G5 storm the way that these Artemis II astronauts are, because the International Space Station is actually pretty close into the Earth and low Earth orbit. It's fairly protected overall. But when you're further out, you're in the radiation belts, even beyond them, you're really getting hit by all these particles and plasma from the sun. We see that we entered into a high-speed stream, solar wind going up to about 650 kilometers per second. The magnetic field did die down. This is what drove most of the activity when it enhanced to about 15, even 17 nanotesla. Normal is 5. Look at this new shock that just came in right there. Let's punch in on that and go to our 6-hour view. We see that now our solar wind velocity is going up to about 750 kilometers per second, and our strength for the magnetic field is about 14, 13, 12, and -7, immediately having that negative configuration that we look for a strong geomagnetic storm. So we are now having this impact. Now, as I'm recording this, this takes about an hour to reach us because we're recording this 1% of the distance from the Earth to the sun. So as you're watching this, this is already probably hitting and interacting with Earth and also interacting with these astronauts. So they're receiving more particle flux than they normally would because we have such an active environment right now with the sun. We can see the launch of Artemis II here. This is really incredible. This video footage taken by the Cessna plane that NASA flies, and this is the best footage by far of the launch that I have seen. We see Artemis II going up. Really incredible the amount of power and energy it takes to launch such a system up to not only low Earth orbit, but to go all the way to the moon, because you have to break free effectively of the gravity well of Earth. And a lot of people don't know this. If Earth was slightly bigger, like let's say a super Earth, we probably wouldn't even be able to go to space with our conventional technology, at least, because the gravity would be so high. So we're right at the edge of even be able to do these sort of space explorations, because again, as you add more rocket fuel, you require more rocket fuel to lift that rocket fuel, that whole equation. And there's only a certain limit of the energy density for these conventional fuels that we have. So we're right there at the edge of being able to explore space with the technology that we have, and Artemis II being the most powerful rocket that NASA has ever launched into space. And they plan on launching a lot more. This is specifically the Space Launch System. It's the Artemis II mission. So they plan on in 2027, should all their hopes and dreams hold, launching one of these every single month to the moon, setting up a moon base, and more. We'll see the boosters detach with this video. Watch this. This is really crazy. We'll see the two side boosters detach and then the main one click in. So this was a big event on April 1st. It's a 10-day mission. They are right now en route to the moon, and they'll circle around it, and then they'll come back, and then they'll splash down in the Pacific Ocean. We see them about to detach here. And that is going to means that their journey will conclude on the 10th of April. So basically, any increased solar activity that we have during that time frame is going to be hitting these astronauts, and that is a serious concern. They're the booster separation. Now, these will not land like SpaceX boosters will land. These will not land, but pretty incredible stuff from NASA. Thankfully, that all went off without a hitch. Lots of people's hopes and prayers with them. Here we see the orbit of Artemis II. So you see that they did this slingshot maneuver where they went out far, then they got close. This is all in that plasmasphere radiation belt environment. Now they're launching off. They'll rendezvous with the moon soon, and then they'll swing back because they get a little bit of a gravitational slingshot around it, and then they will fire their boosters, get back to Earth again, splash down on the 10th. But right now we have a very active sun. As we can see here with our 131 angstrom view, this sunspot I think is about to go with a big M-class flare or even an X-class flare, and we are right now in the midst of a solar storm impact as I'm breaking for you live. Right now it's just coming in, high solar wind velocity on that. So I think we can expect G2 geomagnetic storming at a minimum from that. I did think the last storm was going to get to G3. We only got to G2 minus. So I was a little bit overestimating the impact that would cause. So apologies for that. Space weather prediction and forecasting is fairly difficult, but we did get an impact. It wasn't a complete mess. Now we have another one, and based off of the fact that it's even faster at 780 kilometers per second or so, and it's coming in with a negative configuration, we're probably looking at G2. And because we've also been preconditioned, we just got out of a long duration G1, G2 storm, we'll probably even go to G3 should the solar wind conditions, this solar storm impact, hold in a way that's favorable for geomagnetic storming. Not necessarily that's what we want, but that could very well happen. And so I will keep you up to date on all this as it relates to what's happening with the sun, with the earth, the cosmos, and more. I've been your host, Stefan Burns. Want to let you know today is April 3rd. We have right now a sale going on at the website till April 5th. We don't do sales all that often because we already have our products priced very, very reasonably. But we do have a 5% off sale right now. The code is to the moon, all one word. You can pick up any of the products here. The herbal tea and coffee is made in-house. My dad and I, we work on this. We ship out all the orders. The merchandise is all 100% like cotton, organic. The herbal teas are all organic. And then we even have two new products here, natural bug spray and natural sore muscle salve. These two are awesome. They're made by my friend Alohi on the Big Island, Hawaii. The best natural ingredients. This bug spray is incredible. You're going to want some for summer for sure. It actually is like almost like a nice perfume. When it's hot, it's kind of maybe a little sweaty, whatever. You're going to stay nice and smelling clean and fresh, and you won't have bugs swarming you. It really is super, super effective. The sore muscle salve is really, really nice. Just fantastic for any aches and pains, bruises, things of that nature. Stimulating in a good way, and definitely recommend picking up some of the herb coffee while it's on discount, because we also just reduced the price. 8 ounces was $27, now it's $24. We found better suppliers. We're able to reduce the price, you keep the quality the same, actually improved it a little bit. So all this is available, 5% off right now at the store. This is earthevolution.com. And I also recommend maybe checking out our Boom Shakalaka hoodie. This is super comfortable. It's 100% cotton, and it basically really encapsulates the ethos of this channel here, because this is showing everything that we talk about: volcanoes, earthquakes, solar activity, and more. So wishing you all the best. Also wishing, of course, our astronauts right now in space the best. They have a lot on their plate as they deal with this increased radiation from the sun, this new solar storm impact, potentially new solar flares, and coronal mass ejections. I'll keep you up to date on all that. Thank you, have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon.